This is the coat that is in the Expose Yourself to Art poster. This belonged to Governor Bowerman in 1904, and it was handed down a couple of times, and I think Bud Clark's uncle got it, and so Bud Clark then got it, and then pulled it out of the closet for a photo shoot in 1970, late 70s.
The jacket's it's quintessential, it's Portland iconic. How did you get a hold of it?
So in 2010, I was on tour in Europe, but my boyfriend at the time called up and said, Bud Clark's having an estate sale. There's like a bidding, they're bidding, accepting bids for various things. So I said, well, can you get down there and put a bid on the jacket, because the jacket was up for grabs. And so I bid and got it. And my thought about it is that it really needs to be at the Oregon Historical Society.
So this was when you're junior in high school?
Junior in high school. I was junior mayor. This is when Earl Blumenauer was on the city council. I think Bob Koch maybe. Was Bob Koch on? I can't remember. And yeah, I was mayor for a day. And then on the other side of this is we planted roses with the rosarians in the rose garden right outside City Hall.
Kind of just tell us, what was it like to work in his office?
So I started working in this, well, I was in high school, at Grant High School, when I started working in his office. My family had just moved here in '82, and he was elected in '84. And I think I started volunteering in his office in about 1986, my junior year in high school. And I really thought that I wanted to go into politics, and his office was an incredible place to be. I think one of the most amazing elements, aspects of his time in office was a spirit of cooperation and consensus. Like at the top of every session, he would meet with the city commissioners, and they would all decide together who's going to handle which bureau. It wasn't sort of acrimonious in any way. It was a collaborative effort. And so, and he would meet weekly with all of the city commissioners. It was just a different time. And so there was this incredible spirit of consensus and cooperation. And one of the big aspects of one thing that was really important to him that he always sort of told his staff was that it doesn't matter who gets the credit. It's just, what matters is that something gets done, and it gets done properly. You know, if the 70s if Neil Goldschmidt represents the 70s and my own private Idaho represents the 90s, Bud Clark certainly represented the 80s in terms of the visuals for the city. Like the people who moved to the city during that period of time had that sort of Bud Clark spirit. They were neighborly, they were activist, they were outspoken, but they were hardworking, and so there was the neighborhood associations were flourishing at that point. Portland had a growing relationship to other countries, especially Japan, and like Bud Clark's. Well, he had the first sort of homeless policy, the 12-point plan, and he also had a sort of series of ethics and guiding principles when he took office, which included thinking of every citizen of the city as a family member, and how do we take care of our family? That's just a different mentality and approach than I've heard articulated by anybody in modern times.